How insane is that? And it looks crazy. Hey everyone, if you're new, I'm Mina and welcome to my channel. I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe and turn on notifications. That really helps to support me. I post every single Saturday, and let's get straight into this video. So if you didn't know, I'm actually going to be a freshman at Rice University in just about 2 weeks. I can't believe that it's already coming. I'm so excited and I just can't wait to start at that university. But I thought it would be really fun to make this video talking about all of my bucket list ideas. And that way I can look back on it maybe senior year or after I graduate and see everything that I got to do or didn't get a chance to do. So honestly, this video is probably more for me than for all of you guys. But if you're an incoming student as well, maybe this will give you some ideas of something you can do yourself. Or if you're a little bit of a younger student, maybe this video might excite you for the fun college years to come. And also, if you have any other things that you think are really cool to do, I would love to hear them in the comments down below, so just let me know. So I'm going to split this video up into 3 different parts. So the first part's going to be just my general college bucket list, and then the second is going to be specific to Rice University, and then the third is going to be specific to anything I want to do in Houston, where it's located. So if you're only interested in one of those topics, I'll put all of the timestamps in the description below. Alright, so I have my computer right here with my list written down, and I'm going to start off with the general college bucket list things. So my first one is I really want to go to a drive-in movie theater, and this might not sound all of that special because I feel like a lot of people do it, but I don't know, ever since middle school I've been wanting to and I've never gotten the chance. But in Houston I've heard that there's a lot of them down there, so I'm really hoping that I'll be able to go to one with friends and that it'll be really fun. And my second one, also something that a lot of people do but I've never gotten to, is going to a live concert. I don't know who I'd want to see. I really want to go to a Khalid concert, but I don't know if that'll happen. Or really just any concert. I don't care what it is, but I just want to go to one. And my third one is study abroad. And this is actually something that I considered a lot when I was choosing my colleges. And if you haven't watched my college decision video, I'll link that in the description box below. But one of my big things is that I want to go and travel and see the world. And so during college, I think that I have enough credits to transfer about 2 semesters worth. So I have 2 semesters free to really take whatever I want. So I want to go to South Korea, as well as Rice has a really great program in Scotland that I really want to try out because I've never been to Europe. And so I definitely want to go and study abroad as well. And my next one is I want to go to the beach, but I actually have a friend who lives in Houston and he was saying that the beaches around that area actually aren't that nice, so I should go to a lake instead. So I have go to a nice beach or a lake. We'll see whatever happens. And then kind of along with that, I also want to take a road trip with friends.
We're okay.
I've never been able to do that before, and a lot of people go on high school senior trips after graduation or something like that. But first of all, COVID. Second of all, I was in Seattle all summer, so I didn't get to really see my friends that much. And third of all of my friends live pretty far away. We all live at least an hour apart from each other, and so we didn't really get to do a senior trip. I definitely want to do a road trip while I'm in college. And then I also have get lunch with a professor, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to make really great connections with my teachers while in college and be close enough to at least one of them to get a coffee or get lunch with one of them or something. I think having that kind of network is really important. Another thing is I really want to be able to visit my friends or have them visit me while in college. I think it would be really fun to kind of go and visit each other's colleges and just see how their lives are so different from when we were in high school. Then another thing, okay, I know that so many high schools do a senior sunrise kind of thing, and my high school never did that. So I really want to go and wake up early and watch the sunrise. I think it would be really beautiful, especially because Rice's campus is so nice. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to actually motivate myself and wake up early and watch the sunrise with some friends. Again, I know it's kind of basic, but I don't really know how to cook very well. I just didn't grow up cooking or really baking or anything, but I love to eat sweets. I'm like a huge foodie, so I think that it would be really fun if I pick up some new like baking skills or cooking skills while in college. And another thing I have is become pretty fluent in Korean. So if you didn't know, I'm actually half Korean, half Japanese. I took 2 semesters of Japanese while in high school, and it was really hard, and I honestly didn't actually learn that much, but I've heard that Korean is one of the easiest languages to learn. So I'm planning on taking 3 semesters of Korean before I go and study abroad there. So I'm hoping that like by the end of my study abroad trip, I'll be pretty fluent in Korean. And then the last thing that I have in my general college bucket list is try to find a way to make a mark on campus that I can look for later. And I don't know if I'll actually be able to do this, but in my high school, we lived in a dorm and we were able to go up to the attic and sign our names in the attic. And that's something that like, who knows how long down the line I'll be able to go back and see where I signed my name. So something like that, I'm trying to come up with an idea that I can do just for fun, because I am sure that I'll go back and visit Rice sometime in the future later. Okay, so moving on to the Rice bucket list section. I want to go ice skating at the, I don't know how to say this.
Galleria?
Apparently there's an ice skating place, and I actually used to ice skate for like a year and a half or something, and I ended up quitting, but I wish I never quit. But anyway, I love ice skating, and so I think that it would be really fun to go and skate with some friends. If you didn't know, Rice is a residential college system. You can think of it kind of like the Harry Potter's house system, but there are 11 residential colleges that you get randomly assigned to your freshman year, and basically each of them end up throwing a public party. I think all of them throw a public party once or twice a year or something like that. So my goal is to attend all 11 just to see what they're like and I guess see how they're different and things like that. Then apparently there's also this thing called the Lights Fest, and I'm pretty sure you like light a lantern and then you release the lantern, and I've always wanted to go to one of those, and I've just like never had that kind of event around where I live. So I think that would be really fun to go to. And then Rice is also pretty famous for James Turrell's Twilight Epiphany Sky Space. And when I visited Rice, I actually like went into it, but they weren't doing a show where the lights weren't on or anything. So when I go back, I'm hoping to sit in on one of the shows and just experience it, because I've heard it's incredible. I want to shop at the Rice University's farmers market at least once. I'm sure that I'll end up going way more than that, but that's just something that I have on the list. There's something called the Frog Wall. So apparently there's some history behind this of like they didn't have too much money to be able to really decorate one of the buildings at campus, so instead they like created this frog wall where there's holes in the wall, and when you run your finger along it, it's supposed to make sounds that sounds like a frog. And I don't know exactly how it works, but I think that it would be fun to try that out myself. And another thing is I want to try every single food place on campus, and I made a list of like Curbside at the Club, Cohen House, Little Kitchen, Lou Deli, Rice Coffee House, and then all 11 Resco dining halls. So I'm sure that I'll be able to do that pretty easily. And then this is kind of basic for a college thing, but I also want to go and attend a bunch of the Rice formals. I also want to participate in what's called a Rice Jack, which is basically just a prank. One of the really famous ones that students have done was there's actually a statue of the founder in the middle of the quad that's like huge, and they got
I don't remember what's not a bulldozer.
Like a crane thing, I guess, where they got like this huge thing that can lift up heavy stuff, and they attached it to the statue and actually like picked up the statue and then turned it around so that it was facing the wrong way. So that was one of the really famous Rice Jacks, and I think it would be really fun to just like be a part of one just because it's super memorable. And then the next couple are Duncan College specific, so I got assigned to the Duncan Resco, which is obviously the best Resco on campus. I'm so excited to be a Dunkaroo, be a part of the family. Anyway, so one of the main Dunkin' traditions is that whenever it's someone's birthday, their friends like drag them out from wherever they are and then dunk them in the fountain right next to the building. And so it's called like your birthday dunking. And so I really want to do that with some of my friends. And then they also have a thing called Monday Night Lights, where every Monday they just kind of get together. There's like ping pong and s'mores and etc. And you just really enjoy the company of other Dunkaroos, which I think it would be really fun to go to a bunch of those. Oh, this is really cool. So they have an annual music festival apparently on the roof of Dunkin'. So if you didn't know, on top of Dunkin' College, there's a huge sun deck that like spans the entire building. And every year they invite live musicians or bands or whatever to play on top of the sun deck. And I think that would be super sick, and it would just be so much fun to get to that. So I'm trying to go to that hopefully all 4 years, unless like COVID messes something up or whatever. And then the last thing I had that's Dunkin' specific is there's something called Thirsty Thursdays, where every Thursday Dunkin' residents make a whole bunch of milkshakes, and then anyone from all across campus can come and get a milkshake. So I think it would be fun to volunteer in making the milkshakes, or like, you know, get one myself or whatever. So that's on my list. And then the last thing that I have on the Rice bucket list section is to shop at Rice Village, and that's super basic. So if you don't know what Rice Village is, there's like a little town, I guess, thing that's like right next to Rice University, and they have like a bunch of boutiques and food places and stuff. So I think that'll be fun to do a day trip and spend all day there. On to my Houston city specific bucket list. My first one is I want to attend the Houston Ballet. I actually don't think I've ever gone to a ballet before either, so I really haven't done that much like growing up, I guess. And I'm also a huge art person. I love going to museums, and they actually have a museum district in Houston, and apparently there's 19 museums there, so I want to go and visit all 19. I think that would be super awesome. Then they also have a Japanese gardens place in Houston. I was gonna go there when I visited Rice a couple of months ago, but I was in such a time crunch because I only went there for one day, so I didn't have time to see it, but that's definitely something that I want to go and see. And then they also have a bunch of like trails and stuff in Houston that are supposed to be really nice. So I want to go to the Clay Family Eastern Glades and just go to the trails and see the views and stuff. I've also heard, allegedly, that the best way to really explore Houston is to rent a bicycle and go through it. So apparently there's this company called B-Cycle, which creative, that you can go rent bicycles and then just like ride around Houston, and I think that would be something that's really fun to do, especially because I'm not bringing a car to Houston. And then there's another park that I want to go to called Buffalo Bayou Park that looks ridiculously beautiful. And oh, this is so cool. Okay, so apparently there's this place called Gerald D. Hines Waterfall Park that has a 64-foot tall, semicircular, man-made waterfall wall. Like, how insane is that? And it looks crazy. People take like wedding pictures there and stuff, but I think that it would just be such an insane thing to experience in person. So I definitely want to go there. And then apparently there's this like Houston Rooftop Cinema Club place where they stream a bunch of movies on top of a rooftop. Like, just thinking about it, that would be insane because you're on top of a rooftop. You get to see all of Houston, and in the nighttime it would be so beautiful, and like all of the buildings would be sparkling, and I think that would just be such an insane experience. So I definitely want to go there. And then apparently there's also like a mural district in Houston where they just have a bunch of murals that you can basically mural hop from one to another, and I think that would be super cool to just have a day trip and go and see all the murals and take a bunch of pictures. And then there's also this place called Miller's Outdoor Theater. You know, it's just a theater. You can bring a picnic blanket and like chill there, and they do a bunch of performances. So I think they do some shows and like invite some musicians and stuff, and that's supposed to be one of the most popular Houston things to do, so I want to go there. And then apparently in the aquarium, this is crazy, there's this thing called the CP Huntington train, and you get to ride through a 200,000 gallon shark tank. Like, just think about that. Like, you're like, I feel like the sheer amount of terror that I would have that at the possibility that the thing would like collapse and cave in and you'd be surrounded by sharks, I think that like sheer amount of adrenaline, it will make the, like, it would just make the entire thing such an insane experience. And I've never done anything where like I go through underwater inside an aquarium or anything, so I think that would be super cool. Plus, like, seeing a shark up close, I think I would freak out, but I think it would be really fun to do anyway. And so, you know, everything is always about trying new things and not letting fear scare you. And I think that the number one thing that I want to do while in college is just to really step out of my comfort zone. All of my life I've kind of lived inside like this little bubble, and I haven't really gotten to experience quite as much as I would have liked to. So that's definitely the number one thing that I want to do, is just really try new things that I'm not sure if I'll like, and just see if I like them or not, and then just, you know, enjoy the experience in general, because college is a once in a lifetime thing. It's allegedly the best 4 years of your life, and so I'm going to see if that's really true or not. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I'm sure that I'm gonna have fun looking back on it in a couple of years. So if you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up, as well as a comment down in the comment section, and see you guys in my next video. Thanks again for watching. Bye!